Because the tropics are such an important part of the world, there's an enormous and growing number of the world's population live within the tropics, and the greatest amount of biodiversity, different species, plants are within the tropics. If the world is going to continue to improve the quality of the life of the population of the planet, we need to look after the tropics and ensure that they develop in a good, sustainable manner. We've been working as part of a team looking at the benefits that can arise from Indigenous land management programmes. It's a project funded by the National Environmental Science Programme. We've been working with groups from the Kimberley in the northern part of Western Australia, and also with a group from far north Queensland, who all have rangers programs and other land management programs, and looking at them, working with them to see what are the benefits that have arisen from those programs, whether that's economic benefits or social benefits or benefits towards human well-being. By the government putting money into the communities that are running their ranger programs and the other land management, we find benefits in terms of well-being, so people are finding a better quality of life. It's creating jobs directly and more indirectly, so you're having impacts on the regional economic development. We're finding a benefit where putting money into programs 1 year is facilitating Indigenous people setting up their own businesses in subsequent years, and so developing self-sustaining economic growth for the region. And we're also finding other benefits in terms of sharing knowledge and general giving communities the opportunity to actually feel empowered and be able to take their lives forwards in the direction that they want to see their communities develop.
What we're interested in is finding ways to look at the detailed behaviour of animals in the field to better manage them for both production and environmental outcomes. So, for example, how much food the animal's eating in the paddock is a very difficult thing to measure. So we're trying to come up with algorithms based on the behaviour of the animals. So if it behaves a particular way, there's an index for how much feed it's eating. And of course, the amount of feed it eats is important because that affects its growth rate and performance, but it also affects the environment, because if animals eat too much of the grass in the paddock, then you get bare ground and potential runoff to soil runoff to the Great Barrier Reef Lagoon, for example. Northern Australia is one of the few parts of the world in the tropics where we've got a fairly highly developed country with funding to do good research in that type of environment. So it has direct impact for Australia, but also for other parts around the world. And the tropics are an area where of great concern. There's tremendous potential for growth in the tropics, but there's also tremendous potential for environmental degradation. So if we can manage development with minimal impacts on the environment, then it has great positive benefits for Australia, but also many other parts of the world as well. Parts of the world, in developing parts of the world where they're less able to conduct the kind of research we're doing here in Northern Australia. One of the areas where I think we've had a big impact is in greenhouse gas emissions. So, as you're probably aware, cattle produce quite a large amount of methane, which is a greenhouse gas. So, some of the research we've been doing here looking at ways we can reduce the amount of methane cattle produce. Because a lot of people are saying, you know, we shouldn't eat beef because it's affecting climate change. So we're looking at real methods where we can reduce the amount of methane, and so you can eat beef and be environmentally friendly at the same time. So I think that will transform the industry in the future, and it's an area where we've made some headway already, and hopefully we'll make some more. And I think the tropics, a huge proportion of the world's cattle are in the tropics, often grown in fairly poor conditions, subsistence farming. If we can transform those cultures to have maybe more efficient cattle or fewer cattle but more product per unit of animal, we can make a big impact on global methane emissions from livestock.